Today on September 24th, Archangel Michael says, only 30 seconds left to know the truth. This woman is the reason behind many of your problems. The name is open immediately. September 24th is not just a date. It is a divine hinge day. A moment in the spirit where the air shifts, the light bends slightly, and heaven leans closer than usual. Time feels different. Slower. Heavy. Measured. Today is not ordinary. Today is not forgettable. Today is not random. Something has been placed in your path. A message. A warning. A revealing. The time was set. September 24th. The heavens opened, and the voice of Archangel Michael, the warrior of the Lord Most High, broke the silence. His tone was not thunderous, yet it silenced every room. His words were not shouted, yet they echoed through the walls of spirit and soul. A clock ticks somewhere slow and exact. A door stands before you, tall, unopened, still. It will not unlock until the truth is named, until obedience meets revelation. This message is not for everyone. No, it was not scattered like seed to the crowd. This is selective. You were chosen to hear this. If your heart trembles at these words, keep listening. If your breath halts, if your pulse accelerates without reason, stay still. The Spirit is reaching for you. Others may scroll. Others may scoff. But you know. You feel it. You are the intended recipient of this divine interruption. Your problems, your recurring losses, your sleepless nights, your strained relationships, your financial stalling, the slow, invisible corrosion of your peace, they are not accidents. They have a root, a spiritual one, a hidden one, a name. That name is the thread that unravels this dark cloth. That name is not a curse word, but to call it aloud before heaven permits is to invoke chaos. So wait. Be still. It will be revealed in rhythm, in obedience, in sacred stillness. He is the reason. He is the hinge. She is the door through which many of your afflictions have entered, knowingly or unknowingly. You may have trusted her. You may have feared her. You may have underestimated her. But heaven has not. Archangel Michael has not. And now he speaks. But do not react. Do not rage. Do not run. Do not speak prematurely. Heaven will release the name in the cadence of time, not in the chaos of curiosity. If you move too quickly, you will miss what must be digested in stillness. The name will not fall lightly. It comes as fire, but it lands as truth. And know this, when it is spoken, something in you will break free. Something in you will shake loose. You will feel it. Whether it brings tears, fire, release, or rage, the emotional weight will shift. That is not coincidence. That is confrontation. That is deliverance. That is divine positioning. Only 30 seconds were given. That timestamp, that holy clock, it still burns through the heavens. It has not expired. It hovers, suspended, waiting for your spirit to open. Are you ready? Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. 30, 20, and time collapses. The seconds are not numbers. They are knocks. Each one louder than the last. Each one closer to the moment where truth pierces the veil. Today on September 24th, the Archangel Michael does not whisper. He strikes the soul with a sound that carries through dimensions. His armor, made of sapphire flame and eternal light, reflects heaven's justice. His sword, forged by the will of the Almighty, is not drawn for vanity. He is drawn for truth. He does not speak often. He does not come unless the weight of the moment demands divine intervention. And now, he has come. For you. You feel it, don't you? The temperature shifts. The air thickens. Your chest tightens slightly, not in fear, but in holy awareness. You've been caught in the swirl of the divine. Life paused for this moment. Time paused for this instruction. By sunrise, by midnight, within the next hour, a clock in heaven is ticking. And this message is not shared with the masses. It is not viral. It is not common. It is sacred. This call chose you. You were interrupted for a reason. Others will stroll. Others will sleep. But not you. Something you couldn't name has been pulling on your discernment. A strange fatigue. A sudden restlessness. Irritations that feel spiritual. Your body knows something. Your spirit has been tugged. And now, the source is being named. Not just for information, but for spiritual separation. This is a divine disruption. You were moving through your routine, doing what you always do until heaven struck the atmosphere and said, "Enough." The woman connected to your turmoil is not just someone from your past or present. She is a gate. And gates either grant access or deny blessing. The gate must be exposed. So now, I ask you to do something strange, something holy. Bend your knee. Hush your breath. Hold your phone, but do not scroll. Do not speak. Do not move unless instructed. Heaven is watching how you handle the next moment. This word, this mystery, will both condemn and clear. It will confront the reason behind the cycles, and it will show you how to break free from them. This is not for curiosity's sake. It is for spiritual strategy. It is for liberation. Say this with me now, slowly, steadily. Michael, reveal. Michael, protect. Michael, release the name when heaven is ready. That is your rhythm now. That is your posture. Let this prayer anchor you as the storm of truth begins to form. Do not flinch. Do not guess. Do not accuse. Just wait. The revelation is not late. The truth is not hiding. It is being delivered, sealed in the cadence of obedience. The woman, the one whose influence has shaped your setbacks, is being brought forward in the spirit realm. But the name will only be heard by the one who hears in silence. Are you ready? Then say the word aloud, open, and keep silent. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. You have felt it long before this moment. Long before the name ever hovered in your spirit. You were being watched. Not by heaven, but by those who do not wish to see you rise. There were whispers when you left the room. Glances you were never meant to catch. Conversations paused the moment you walked in. And you told yourself it was paranoia. You convinced yourself you were imagining it. But you were not. That unease you carried, it was real. That invisible pressure you've been breathing in, it has a source. There hath been a voice behind the sabotage. A feminine voice. Sweet in the daylight, but sharp in the dark. A voice that praised you in public and pierced you in private. This is not a stranger. This is not some distant enemy. This is someone once permitted near your trust, near your secrets, near your journey. But that closeness was not covenant. It was a counterfeit assignment. And now, heaven is exposing it. You've lost sleep. Not just from stress, but from spiritual interference. Something disturbed your dreams. Made you question yourself. Made you withdraw. Made you suspicious even of those who loved you. Because confusion is the smoke screen. It was never about destroying you directly. It was about scattering your discernment, so you couldn't tell who was safe and who was sent. Gossip has been the sword used against you, not to kill you, but to slowly discredit you. They speak in hush rooms, encoded tones, in partial truths. The purpose was not correction. It was corrosion. To wear you down spiritually, emotionally, relationally. And many of the darts were launched by her. You noticed the signs, misplaced items, repeated patterns, a phrase you kept overhearing in different places. You may have even seen her in your dreams. Sometimes smiling, sometimes silent, sometimes too present. These weren't mere dreams. They were signals. Heaven has been trying to show you the route. Not so you can lash out, but so you can disconnect spiritually from the poison. You feel the unrest rising in your body right now. That low hum under your ribs. That sudden heat in your chest. That tightening in your throat. That's not fear. That's recognition. The truth is trying to surface. Your body always knew. Your emotions tried to tell you. And now, heaven confirms it. But understand this, betrayal is rarely clean. It's twisted with insecurity, fear, jealousy, and sometimes even unspoken admiration. The woman behind much of your storm may not even fully grasp the harm she has caused. But intentional or not, the consequence has reached you, and heaven will not allow it to continue unchecked. The name, it is near, but not yet. Not until the soul is still enough to hear without reacting. That's the test. The revelation will not fall upon a racing heart. It will fall upon the one who can hold the truth without breaking covenant with peace. And here is a detail, not the name, not the face, but a signal. She often fidgets with her fingers when nervous. She avoids direct eye contact when confronted. She always positions herself as the helper, but never helps when it truly matters. That is the cloak she wears, but it is unraveling now. Let me ask you this, and ask it slowly to your spirit. What if the silence you've called peace was just the quiet before a theft? Are you still ready to open? Type "I receive truth" in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 5151 is now circling your house. If this message is piercing your heart, if the veil is lifting and you now see what you could not explain, this is your moment to respond beyond just listening. Every time you support this message, you help this truth reach another soul who has been silently bleeding. When you give, you are not giving to a platform. You are sowing into a spiritual harvest. You are planting seeds that break chains, open eyes, and restore destinies. Just as this message found you at the exact divine moment, it can be released to someone else when you help us carry it further. Heaven sees your obedience. God multiplies the gift, not just in someone else's life, but in your own. The giving link is in the video description, through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal. Do not delay. Toe into this moment. Activate the blessing in your own atmosphere. This is not just a misunderstanding. This is not merely a personality clash. This is not just human tension. You must understand, what you are experiencing is not random, and it is not simply about you being disliked or envied. This is spiritual. This is warfare. This is divine conflict dressed in everyday disguise. The enemy has tried to make it look like offense, like small betrayal, like passive aggression. But in truth, this is an assignment, an intentional interference meant to distort your discernment and derail your destiny. That woman, yes, the one heaven is naming, she was never just a distraction. She was a gatekeeper in the spirit. Whether she knew it or not, her influence over you was engineered to siphon your strength, interrupt your clarity, and steal your time. She smiled while your spirit suffered. She prayed, perhaps, but never for your progress, only for proximity. Close enough to watch, never close enough to help. And what looked like friendship, or mentorship, or even blood, was in fact a strategic insertion into your path. Heaven saw it before you did. Let that settle in your spirit. Nothing caught heaven by surprise. Not her words, not her actions, not even your silence. Your life has been recorded in the scrolls. Your tears have been counted. Your dreams intercepted. Your prayers heard. And when it became too tangled for your eyes to see, heaven activated the Archangel. That's why this message reached you. This moment is not a coincidence. It's a divine intervention. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're under pressure because you're being prepared. Let me say it again. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The heat you feel is not hell. It's the forge of heaven. And yes, opposition is personal, but it is not permanent. It targets your calling, not your comfort. It is after your assignment, not your applause. It comes to wound the warrior in you, because if it can confuse the warrior, it can delay the war's outcome. You must see it clearly now. Your reaction to this exposure is as important as the exposure itself. Haste will feed the plot. Panic will cloud your discernment. But stillness is your strategy. Heaven does not need your vengeance. It needs your alignment. The revelation that's coming is surgical, precise, controlled. You don't need to fight when the army of God has drawn its sword on your behalf. What was said about you, what was twisted behind your back, what was withheld from you, these were not just interpersonal slights. These were tools of delay. Accusations aren't always shouted. Sometimes they come in the form of exclusion, dismissal, side comments, cold silences. And yet, each moment was recorded by heaven. Nothing spoken in secret stays hidden from the spirit of truth. The light is relentless, and it is coming for the shadows that have stalked your path. Do not confuse this moment with condemnation. No, beloved, this is correction. This is course shifting. This is the loving hand of the Almighty reaching down into the tangle and lifting you out. Not every voice that calls you sister, daughter, friend, or leader is safe. Some names are wrapped in fear, others in control, and a few in projection. But discernment is coming. You will see with new eyes. You will no longer mistake attention for affection, or proximity for loyalty. That confusion ends now. You have not been forgotten. You have been observed. You have been studied by both realms. But only one has permission to rewrite your story. Heaven has decided. Heaven is intervening. And what is being framed today will become the canvas of your clarity tomorrow. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 1444 is now surrounding your assignment. Hear me clearly. Within 72 hours, the pressure will intensify. That is not a metaphor. That is not a dramatic flourish. That is a prophetic window. Something is shifting even now, beneath the surface of conversations, inside the walls of relationships, through the cracks in what you once called stability. There is movement in the unseen realm, and heaven is counting down. What hath been brewing in secret is coming to the edge of exposure. What was whispered behind doors is being forced into the light. You will feel it before you see it. You will sense it before you understand it. Do not dismiss that sensation. Attention. A stirring is your warning. There will be signs. There always are. A sudden text from someone who never checks in. An invitation that feels off. An unexpected meeting where eyes avoid yours. A conversation you overhear that mentions a phrase you just dreamt about. Documents may surface, old messages, hidden screenshots, delayed responses, and they will feel like smoke escaping from a room that's been burning for months. These are not random. These are divine alarms. Not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Stay alert. Stay anchored. Someone is shifting, either plotting or being repositioned by heaven to spark the unraveling. It may not look dramatic. It may seem like a small change. But that shift will be the crack that allows the entire structure of deception to collapse. You will not need to push it. You will not need to provoke it. Truth has its own momentum. But you must not ignore the movement when it begins. The woman, the one whose name is tangled with your suffering. She will show signs, perhaps through agitation, increased communication, defensive language, or silence that feels heavy. You may not be able to name her out loud yet, but heaven already has. Her influence is being stripped. Her cover is being pulled. But you must not confront. This is not your battle to swing. It is heaven's to reveal. A symbol may appear, a particular color you keep seeing, a name repeated in different places, or a phrase like it wasn't meant to be echoing through different mouths. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. They are coordinates in the spirit, designed to anchor your awareness. You are not imagining these things. You are not paranoid. You are being prepped. But with this acceleration comes a clear directive. Do not react emotionally. This is not the climax. This is appeal. The surface layer. The beginning of exposure. You not mistake early chaos for the end result. Heaven reveals in increments, not all at once. Because your spirit needs to absorb, not explode. The goal is not drama. The goal is deliverance. Write down what happens. Dib a record. Love the dreams. Mark the dates. This is not just for memory. It is for spiritual tracking. Patterns are forming, and when the full picture comes together, you'll need to look back and see the evidence of heaven's hand. Keep praying. Keep your heart guarded. Keep your mouth holy. Above all, resist the urge for revenge. Vengeance is a fire that burns both the guilty and the anointed. And you, child of God, have been anointed for a higher outcome. This pain does not end in pettiness. This exposure is not for your pride. It is for your freedom. And so, hear this last whisper, short, subtle, but blazing with prophecy. The moment will come when a name hovers. Breathe, and let heaven finish. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if this word strikes your soul. Blessing code 888 is now unlocking your clarity. Now that the atmosphere is shifting and the veil is lifting, you must move differently. You cannot walk into this next hour with the same posture that brought you here. The winds of revelation are dangerous if navigated carelessly. Exposure is not entertainment. It is warfare. And warfare demands positioning. The command from heaven is not to strike. The command is to be still. This may feel counterintuitive, but stillness in the spirit does not mean passivity. It is power. It is restraint that confuses the enemy. It is silence that causes heaven to fight on your behalf. Do not speak just to speak. Do not text just to feel control. Do not seek revenge through whispers and shared screenshots. The revelation is sacred. Do not handle it like gossip. When heaven reveals a name, it is not for your ego. It is for your elevation. The weight of this truth will require protection, not just from others but from yourself. The flesh wants to react. The soul wants to retaliate. But the spirit is being instructed. Hold, wait, watch. Take 3 minutes tonight, just 3, and sit in total silence. No music, no talking, no scrolling. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe slowly and ask the question, Father, show me how to respond, not react. That small act is not weakness. It is a spiritual firewall. It is the doorway to deeper insight. Heaven speaks in silence, not noise. And when you quiet the outer chaos, the inner voice will become thunder. Turn off what stirs your flesh. Step away from what fuels your anger. For the next 72 hours, mute those who provoke the pain. Not to be cruel, but to be clear. The atmosphere around you must become clean. Your timeline is not your prayer line. Your phone is not your altar. Guard your gates. What you see, hear, and say is shaping what heaven can reveal. You are not being called to isolation. You are being called to sacred separation. There's a difference. Separation is not lowliness. It is spiritual sanitation. You are removing contamination so that clarity can flow. This is where your spirit becomes a fortress, not a sponge. You were never designed to carry other people's projections. You were designed to carry the presence of God. Write down what comes to you, even if it makes no sense. A name of glue with opinion. Dreams are not random right now. They are encrypted messages, prophetic glimpses. Pay attention. The Holy Spirit is delivering intel through your subconscious. Don't dismiss it. Don't brush it off as emotion. It is coded revelation waiting for interpretation. Refuse to participate in the slander. This is vital. If you use your tongue to retaliate, you place yourself on the same level as the one who wounded you. But if you hold your tongue, heaven elevates you above it. Gossip is cheap warfare. Silence is sacred artillery. Every time you refuse to speak in anger, you reinforce the shield around your purpose. Create a sacred space, even if it's small. Light a candle and say, "This is holy ground." Touch your wrist with oil and say, "I am sealed." Set an intention over your room before you sleep. Only heaven may speak here tonight. You are not performing a ritual. You are posturing your soul to receive revelation without residue. Above all, rest. Heaven is working. You are not forgotten. You are not exposed. You are protected. Sleep is not weakness. It is worship. While you sleep, God fights. While you dream, angels move. While you rest, Michael guards. That is not poetry. That is reality. You are not alone. You are not uncovered. You are not vulnerable. You are watched, and you are held. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if this word covers you. Blessing code 3030 is now shielding your atmosphere. You are not who yesterday said you were. You are not who betrayal tried to shrink. You are not the sum of what she said, nor the silence of those who did nothing. You are not defined by what went unseen, ignored, or twisted. Heaven knows your name, and that name is not broken. That name is not used. That name is not too late. That name is not forgotten. That name is anointed. And now is when you must begin to stand in it. You bent beneath the weight of spiritual interference, but it did not break you. You've been lied on, but it did not erase you. You've been misread, underestimated, even silently dismissed. Unmanavitahirkor. It shook your emotions, yes, but it could not dismantle your calling. That's why the warfare came. That's why the confusion was thick. Because your life is not ordinary. Your future is not random. You are marked. You are on a trajectory that darkness hoped to intercept. But the interception failed. Now heaven says, rise. Not in defiance. Not in pride. But in awareness. Rise into remembrance. Rise into boldness. Rise into the truth that your soul has carried since birth, that you are more than the wounds you survived. You've been growing in secret, learning under pressure, healing while helping others. You've been promoted in the spirit while people thought you were stuck. What they saw as delay, heaven called preparation. What looked like silence was a divine upgrade. What looked like hiding was sanctification. The fire you've walked through wasn't to consume you, it was to refine you. You've come out with flame-colored wings. You've come out with sharper eyes, tougher skin, and a soul that no longer begs for breadcrumbs. You're not waiting for validation anymore. You're walking in revelation. You know now that peace is expensive, and you're willing to protect it. You know now that your yes carries weight, and not everyone deserves it. You are shifting. And now, Archangel Michael places a mantle of armor over your shoulders, not to turn you into someone new, but to reinforce who you've always been. That armor is not heavy, it's holy. It does not restrict you, it reveals you. The lies of the past can't stick to it. The shame can't seep through it. The opinions of others fall off like ash. And in that armor, you are unshakable. You've cried long enough. You've questioned your discernment long enough. Now it is time to reclaim. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your thoughts. Reclaim the creativity that's been buried under emotional fatigue. Reclaim your space, your schedule, your sleep. Reclaim the version of you that smiled without shrinking, that loved without suspicion, that served without fear. She is not gone. She is returning. And she's coming back with authority. This moment is not just about defending yourself. It's about defining yourself again. The opposition didn't win. It just revealed how strong you've become. Let that sink in. Even at your lowest, you never quit. Even when you doubted, you still prayed. Even when you were misunderstood, you kept showing up. That's not weakness, that's warrior resilience. And it deserves to be honored by you, by heaven, by the destiny waiting to be claimed. So rise. Rise like you were meant to. Rise like the truth is yours. Rise like the enemy is already defeated. Because in the spirit, he is. And you are still here. Not just breathing, not just recovering, but being reintroduced to yourself. And the version of you that's emerging now is not one to be played with. She's on assignment. She's been through the fire. She's covered in the oil of survival. And she's about to step into the next chapter, unapologetically. Type "I am rising" in the comments if this word stirred your identity. Blessing code 7777 is now releasing resurrection power over your journey. There is a reason this has happened. A divine purpose buried beneath the confusion. A heavenly strategy hidden behind the betrayal. You were never just a target. You were a vessel. What you have walked through was not punishment. It was placement. You were not just attacked. You were anointed under pressure. What felt like abandonment was a repositioning. What felt like rejection was heaven's reroute to get you out of agreements with people who could not carry your future. You were not being cast aside. You were being cleared for launch. And the woman, yes, her, she was not sent to destroy you. She was allowed for a time to reveal what you were still tolerating. Not because God needed to see, but because you needed to see. You needed to recognize the patterns that kept you in cycles. You needed to learn that love without discernment is a liability. You needed to confront your own silence. How often you knew but didn't act. And now that you've seen it, you will never unsee it again. That's what revelation does. It doesn't just inform, it awakens. This wasn't random. It never was. Your pain, as always, had a pulse, a rhythm woven into it by the hands of heaven. And now, you are standing at the edge of understanding. You're beginning to feel it, aren't you? The weight is shifting. The clarity is coming. The question, why did I go through this, is being answered. And the answer is simple, holy, and heavy, because you were being trusted with more. Heaven knew your name before they ever used it. Heaven wrote your destiny before they ever tried to bury it. The trial wasn't to harm you. It was to expose what couldn't go with you. This is divine pruning. This is sacred separation. The next version of your life requires a lighter load. And heaven is ensuring you don't carry any counterfeit attachments into your breakthrough. You're about to see doors open. Not just small ones, significant ones. Ones that match your calling, your discipline, your sacrifice. Relationships are about to be recalibrated. Alignments are being restored. Strategic people are coming. Not just companions, but carriers. Midwives of your next level. The kind of people who don't compete with your calling, but protect it. This is not a season of rebuilding. This is a season of releasing. What was taken is not lost. It is being returned. Not in the same form, but in a sanctified one. You thought you were losing, but heaven was storing. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven was reserving. And now the time of release is near. Say this aloud. I receive what is mine, in the form heaven sees fit. Your identity has been marked. Your purpose has been authenticated. Your name is known in heaven. You are not one of the many. You are one of the marked. And from this moment forward, the trauma of the trial will no longer torment you. It will teach you. The ashes will not stick to your clothes. The weight will not follow you. You are being reintroduced to yourself by God. But you must receive it with humility, with quiet courage. This is not a prideful elevation. This is a sacred unlocking. A holy yes that opens realms of purpose you haven't yet dreamed of. And so I say to your spirit, your unlocking awaits. Say yes. Type yes, Lord. I take him ready in the comments if you feel the shift. Blessing code 2299 is now opening spiritual gates over your name. If this word unlocked something deep within you, if the trial now makes sense, and your spirit has been reignited, then this is your invitation to take part in the harvest. Every time you support this prophetic message, you are helping someone else hear exactly what heaven is saying. You are not just giving. You are activating light, sowing into deliverance, and aligning your generosity with purpose. Just as this revelation found you, it can find someone else through your obedience. The harvest is ripe. The breakthrough is near. The oil is flowing. Partner with this movement by clicking Super Thanks, becoming a channel member, or giving via the PayPal link in the video description. Don't just hear the word, move with it. This is holy ground. Plant into it. You've been watching, listening, receiving. You sat in silence. You've waited in stillness. You've heard the whispers of heaven through every word, and now it is time to rise, not just emotionally, not just spiritually, but prophetically and practically. This moment was never just about uncovering her. It was about unleashing you. The enemy tried to name you with silence, but heaven names you with destiny. It's time to activate it. No more waiting for permission from people who were never meant to understand you. No more replaying conversations where your name was mishandled. No more rehearsing moments that made you feel small. The season of shrinking is over. The hour of hesitation has expired. You are no longer just surviving the room she poisoned. You are leaving it all together. And when you walk out, you will not just leave. You will lock the door behind you. Say it with me. I walk out of old alignments. I walk into divine assignments. I move with purpose. I choose destiny. Declarations are not just words. They are weapons. They shape what surrounds you. They instruct angels. They shake the realm of the unseen. Your tongue is not just a sound maker. It is a gatekeeper. Heaven is listening. The atmosphere is waiting. So speak as one who knows you've been chosen. Say it aloud. Not softly. Not doubting. With force. I am marked. I am not for sale. I am aligned. I will not delay. I will rise. I will release. I will reveal. Now, take action, even if small. Obedience is not a feeling. It is a movement. Heaven does not respond to emotional reactions. Heaven responds to intentional steps. Today, choose one thing that aligns with the life you are called to build. It might be reaching out to someone God placed on your heart. It might be shutting a door that's long needed to close. It might be journaling the vision, applying for the opportunity, starting the prayer group, or creating what's been locked inside of you. Don't just hear. Move. Write a vow to yourself, not one that feels grand, but one that feels grounded. Something like, I will no longer betray myself to keep others comfortable. Or I will walk in obedience, even when it is misunderstood. Let that vow become your new boundary. Let that promise become your spiritual firewall. Here is your three-part activation. Quiet. Declare. Act. First, get quiet before God. No music. No noise. Just openness. Let the next step rise without being forced. Second, declare the truth over your life, not based on what they said, but on what heaven says. Third, act. Not later. Doubt. Obedience doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It obeys the voice of truth in imperfect ones. Your destiny is not waiting in the clouds. It's waiting in the steps you're about to take. Heaven is watching. Angels are attending. You're not being nudged. You're being launched. And every delay you've endured is about to serve your elevation. Say it aloud again. I will not delay destiny. I activate it now. The woman was named, not so you could live in exposure, but so you could move in expansion. This was never about her. This was always about you being restored to who you really are. You were never weak. You were hidden for protection. But now the cover has lifted. It's time. Type I activate destiny in the comments if this word moved you into motion. Blessing code 911 is now releasing swift alignment. While your voice has been silent, the spirit realm has not. While your mouth stayed closed in wisdom, heaven's courtroom has been roaring with motion. You may have thought your silence meant nothing, that your surrender was passive, that your stillness was invisible. But in truth, the moment you chose to stay silent instead of striking, that was when the angels began to speak on your behalf. The moment you withheld the clapback, the shade, the retaliation, that's when your name was lifted in the heavenly chambers, and your case was opened before the throne. There is a courtroom in the unseen. You cannot see it, but it is more real than the concrete under your feet. There, your tears are stored as evidence. Your prayers are filed as declarations. Your dreams are submitted as divine blueprints. And your pain, yes, even your silent suffering, becomes currency. Heaven does not waste suffering. Heaven records it, weighs it, and then trades it for something eternal. This is the silent exchange. Your name, spoken in whispers on earth, is being shouted in honor in heaven. Your sorrow, used as gossip by others, is being transcribed as sacred ink in the scrolls of legacy. What was taken from you without apology is being logged and reviewed, and not 1 ounce of it will be lost in vain. Nothing goes unmeasured. Nothing goes unseen. Nothing is wasted. Heaven's economy doesn't function like man's. In man's court, noise wins. In heaven's court, stillness reigns. On earth, clamor draws attention. But in heaven, it is the posture of quiet obedience that causes spiritual acceleration. That is why the enemy tried to provoke you, to make you speak before your time, to make you act before your name was cleared. But you didn't take the bait. And because of that, a divine exchange has begun. There are angels cataloging what was stolen. Assignments that were delayed are being recalibrated. Favor that was diverted is being restored. This is not imagination. This is intercession on your behalf. And the court has ruled, not guilty, not forgotten, not cast down, but restored, elevated, protected, and appointed. You've walked through fire and didn't curse. You endured insult and didn't retaliate. You saw the deception and waited on confirmation. All of that is evidence. And the Spirit of the Lord says, your name is being stamped in heaven's ink. And the next chapter will not be written by their opinion, but by my promise. Close your eyes. Imagine the ledger. It is massive, heavy, bound in gold, and across the top, your name. Heaven's scribes have been recording. The page is turning, and as it turns, the past closes. The betrayal is no longer your reference point. The sabotage is no longer your ceiling. You are not defined by the fallout. You are being launched by the faithfulness you showed in the fire. Let this rest deep in your spirit. While you were silent on earth, heaven was shouting for you. While you were quiet, they were preparing keys. Keys of restoration. Keys of release. Keys of realignment. The silent exchange has already begun. The angelic realm is in motion. And the compensation coming is not just emotional, it is generational. Legacy is being rewritten. Cycles are being canceled. And the cost you paid in secret is now yielding a harvest you couldn't buy with talent alone. So now, be still again. Let the contract be sealed. Let the ink dry on what heaven has signed. And when the name comes, the one that hovered over your delay, it will no longer have authority over your emotions. It will have no power. Because the exchange has already taken place. Let the silence be the contract. Type heaven has ruled in my favor in the comments if this word confirms what you feel. Blessing code 4141 is now stamping your scroll with favor. There is a moment in the spirit where the gavel drops. Not in a courtroom of man, but in the throne room of heaven. And when it does, the entire atmosphere shifts. What was once oppression becomes promotion. What was once hidden is suddenly highlighted. What was meant to destroy is rerouted to deliver. And I speak now as a messenger of the Lord. That moment has come for you. The pain they tried to bury you under has become the ground for your revival. The very place where you were misunderstood is now the place of your unveiling. You were misused, yes. Lied on, yes. You were the topic in rooms you weren't invited to. You were the one they tried to erase with silence and suggestion. But what they meant for harm, what they plotted to break you, heaven has now reversed. Hear this in the marrow of your bones. The spiritual scales have tipped. Divine reversal hath been activated. What they sowed in secret is being reaped in public. What was stolen from you is returning, pressed down and multiplied. This is not revenge. This is restoration governed by righteousness. You are not getting even. You are getting aligned. Those who tried to reduce you are losing access. Those who dismissed your value are losing the right to your presence. Not because you hate them, not because you are bitter, but because elevation requires separation. God will not allow your name to sit in dishonor any longer. What was said is now being stripped of its power. Their words were heavy in one season, but in this new season, they're weightless. Look for the signs. I expected favor. Blade doors suddenly opening. Resources being returned. Opportunities that had dried up beginning to drip again. Divine reconnections that are pure, strategic, and safe. Nights that had been filled with warfare now resting in peace. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. There is one thing you must remember. You are not to become what they were. Do not return what was thrown at you. Do not match their dishonor. Mercy has covered you, and now you must extend it wisely. Justice is not about vengeance. It is about restoration and rightful order. You are not called to punish. You are called to pivot. Leave the vindication to the God who saw it all. You will bless from overflow, not to impress, but to reveal that heaven's system is different. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to walk in what you were already promised. Your very existence, healed, focused, elevated, will testify louder than any post, any clapback, or any name drop ever could. And as you rise, understand this. You are not alone. Others are watching your walk, not with suspicion but with hope. Because your reversal is a prophecy in motion. When they see you stand after all you've endured, they'll know God is real. They'll know justice is possible. They'll believe again that pain doesn't win, and that heaven defends its chosen. So now, walk forward, not as the accused, but as the appointed, not as the overlooked, but as the repositioned. The reversal is not just for you, it's through you. Every step you take from this point on will carry a fragrance of victory. Teva has shifted. Stand in it. Type "the tables have turned" in the comments if this word confirms your rise. Blessing code 1616 is now releasing divine compensation over your house. The name that once hovered like a shadow over your peace has now lost its power. The woman, whose influence bent the direction of your atmosphere, hath been seen, measured, and named by heaven. And what once felt like your undoing has now become the catalyst for your becoming. Heaven has ruled. Michael has spoken. The courts have shifted. And now, the veil is lifted. You are not in limbo anymore. You are not suspended between confusion and clarity. You are walking out of the room where your name was mishandled with your head held high and your identity intact. You are no longer trying to make sense of what they did. You are standing in what heaven has already corrected. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. The revelation has come, not just of her name, but of your name, your real name, the one etched in glory, the one angels recognize, the one darkness tried to erase. And from this point forward, you will walk not with a limp of betrayal, but with the stride of someone who survived the fire and came out refined. Now receive this blessing. Speak it aloud with holy defiance. Say it as a seal to the season that ends and the season that begins. I am covered. I am chosen. I am not who pain tried to define. I am realigned with purpose. I walk in peace. I guard my gates. I bless what's ahead. I release what's behind. I forgive in wisdom. I rise in glory. And I am ready, fully, finally, and fearlessly, for what heaven has next. Let your spirit rest in this final instruction. Guard your mouth. Guard your heart. Victory will not be in proving a point. It will be in preserving your position. You do not owe explanations. You do not owe access. You owe heaven your obedience. That is your currency now. That is your covering. Keep the mantra close to you as you go. Sealed by Michael. Moved by heaven. Sent with fire. Guarded in my glory. There will be moments when the name tries to rise again. Moments when the memory of the betrayal whispers old pain. But it will be hollow now, because you are not in the place where it can reach you. You have risen above the vibration of vengeance, and your silence has been honored. So breathe, stand, and walk boldly. This chapter is closed. The next one has already been written, and you are ready to live it. Type IT is finished in the comments if this word sealed your spirit. Blessing code 9999 is now releasing file victory into your hands. This word was not just for comfort, it was an assignment. And if your spirit was sealed through it, then this is your moment to sow into the mantle that delivered it. When you support this voice, whether through super thanks, membership, or giving via the PayPal link in the description, you are not just supporting content. You are empowering the continual release of heaven's word into dry, tired, and desperate places. You're not giving to a voice. You're giving to a mission that rescues those entangled in confusion and brings them back into divine clarity. The oil flows where honor is present. If this voice has carried you, now carry the message further. To activate, multiply. The doors it opens are eternal.